Earlier this afternoon, we met with community members and community leaders who have been on the front lines of ensuring the civil rights and public safety and coordinated response among our community members day in and day out for a long time. We know these threats are continuing to escalate across the country, and that Boston must be the leading light in how we are acting in a coordinated way and tackling and supporting our community members. Across the Boston Police Department, the Transit Police, the State Police, the FBI, and all of our partners in law enforcement and public safety, there's constant communication about the impending actions of any known groups. We continue to monitor the situation and to work closely with community members. Most of all, we want to ensure that community members are empowered in communicating anything that you may see or hear or read about on social media to please err on the side of reaching out to local public safety officials so that we can have the most information at hand. And we will continue to work in partnership with community members as we strategize and plan and coordinate to respond to not one-off incidents, but this growing rise and trend in white supremacy and hate. And I'll pass it over to my partner and host for this briefing that we coordinated earlier, U.S. Attorney Rachael Rollins.
Thank you, Mayor. So the meeting today that the Mayor and I co-hosted was essentially to tell the Black community, the LGBTQ community, which were both involved, or the individual that was the alleged victim was a member of, that we take these threats and this behavior seriously. Secondly, we wanted them to know that we understand the climate is really scary in this moment to a lot of impacted communities. We see nationwide what we saw with Jaylen Walker in Ohio and Robert Crimo in Highland Park, Illinois, in the backdrop of what we're experiencing here in Boston, where we've had 3 separate and distinct instances over the last few months involving hate groups, where whether back on January 22nd of 2022, the individuals that, but approximately 24 of them at Brigham and Women's Hospital, with banners that Brigham and Women's Hospital kills whites and other, espoused ideologies. What we saw back on the St. Patrick's Day parade with NSC 131 and the Keep Boston Irish banner, as well as what we saw this weekend with Patriot Front. We are going to be thinking strategically about how we're going to combat this so that communities feel safe. We've said many times hate does not have a place in Boston or Massachusetts, and I'm proud that we were here today not only with the District Attorney's Office, the Attorney General's Office, but the U.S. Attorney's Office, as well as State Police, Boston Police, Transit Police, the FBI, and several others. So we are working hard to make sure that if there are any federal charges we can bring, or if there are any state charges that can be brought, we will be looking at this. We don't want to wait until there's violence. If there are threats, we will charge those as well. Thank you.